It's Friday. It's time for another truck news recap. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. I do these once a week. I do news items that maybe didn't make a full video or didn't quite get a video done this week. I give you more behind the scenes stuff, and I admit things I made mistakes on. I made a mistake in the Ram RHO pricing. We're going to get to that in this video. I'm also going to talk about the SEMA builds. We have the Ford Lightning demand drops again, and we have new details on the GM strike. Scout, a whole bunch of details today on this truck news recap. So before I get too much further in the weeds on the price, in the Ram RHO first drive video I published this week, I discussed the price was 11,000 plus $1,000 more because I did this video and it just blew it for him. No, that's not accurate. It's actually 10,000 plus 1,000, so it's 11,000, not 12. So my total number is $74,399 for the truck I'm buying. I have not heard any details as far as it going into production. I did have a conversation with the Ram brand CEO about this. And I'm going to do a video tomorrow about our conversation, then share details with you about Ram, where they're at, where they're heading, and what the futures look like for the brand, and why she's not concerned about all the clickbait videos that she sees out there. So I talked about Ram RHO pricing. I also want to talk about some details as far as the what's on the website at pickuptrucktalk.com. So be kind of, I'm going to go back a little bit. I scrolled down. I did this video a few different times, but yeah, pickuptrucktalk.com. There's new website design over there. Make sure you check that out. We have the Infiniti QX80 went live this week. Hyundai Ioniq 9 got teased. Well, details on that. And then the one that people are talking about quite a bit is twofold. We have the Kia Tasman, and I'll post some photos on that. And then we have the Ram RHO versus Ram TRX. I kind of did a behind the specs thing on that because I think people are getting so lost in the weeds on the exhaust note. They're not realizing what we're looking at here. It's just interesting on the comments on that, which I may pull that up as well. So as we come down here, we can see these photos. It's a very blocky looking vehicle. It does have a diesel globally, right? But it's kind of bare bones. It's got some off-road capability, a little bit smaller footprint. A lot of people are here in the United States saying, "Gosh, send me this truck. I want this truck tomorrow. I just want a basic work truck like this." And unfortunately, we don't get those around here. Automakers have tried those in the United States, and as far as more basic, and it doesn't seem like it works for the audience, for consumers. They ride a little bit rougher, a little bit less comfortable. Not a family hauler, which is where trucks have gone to in the United States. But this is the interior of this Kia Tasman. Even this one has a full digital display. So even globally, we're getting to that less bare bones, more creature comforts in this Kia Tasman. It's just interesting. It's just an interesting design. So I just want to share that with you guys. Some people have done full videos on that, which I don't really understand because there's not much to say as far as chicken tax and keep it in the United States. And it has the different diesel engine, the 207 horsepower, 2.2 liter diesel engine in this. And I'm a big fan of diesel. I've been part of a Facebook group last couple of days for the 3 liter Silverado Duramax diesel, which I owned. And I wanted to know what the customers were saying about that. And I've heard a lot from the customers. they like it, although there's again some people that just have had some issues with it, which always happens. And then the other news was the Scout got unveiled in Nashville. Unfortunately, Jill and I were not able to make this event. We were in Michigan instead. But the Scout Traveler and Terra is a SUV and a truck. They're both concepts. They're hoping to be unveiled by 2027, and they're basically Rivians undercarriage with a new body style on top. The big news from this, which I find really fascinating, is there's an extended range version, EREV, which is basically a gas engine that replenishes the battery. And what I want to, my point of view on this is that I can tell you all my colleagues this last week, I've been following them on Facebook and LinkedIn and places, and nobody is talking about the EV aspect of these vehicles. Everybody's really talking about the extended range version of this vehicle. So it's an interesting twist. And as we're seeing with the EV marketplace, the sales are down and demand's down. But if you can get a EV like driving experience, quick, smooth, powerful, with more range with the gas engine and not have to wait for charge so much, it seems like that's a winner. So I found it fascinating that again, most of my colleagues are talking about that aspect of it, not about the EV. And most people are talking about the overall design is it's in Rivian. It's just kind of interesting. Other news happening on the website that I just published. I'm going to go back here, go down to news as far as what's going on. The Ford F-150 Lightning plant, the Rouge Electric Vehicle Center, is going to be idled for 6 weeks due to lack of demand. Ford has told their suppliers, be on the lookout, we're dropping demand. That is on top of the issues they had in the spring where they cut production in half. So not good news for the EV plans over at Ford and that plant being extended as far as idling. So that means it has a Christmas break idling and additional times and slowing down. And so we also want to talk about Stellantis. I talked about the Ram CEO conversation I'll put out tomorrow. It says the U.S. inventory drawdown ahead of schedule. So there was a lot of news items, a lot of big, oh my gosh, can you see this going on with the details on Stellantis as far as they had lots of supply and dealership lots and holy cow, nobody's buying them, they're going under. Saw these same videos. Stellantis was like, all right, we started throwing money at the problem and incentives, and now inventory drawdown is ahead of schedule. They were anticipating that the number of vehicles was going to be down by 330,000 by year end from more than 400,000 in June, but he could reach that target in November. So they've cut the overall inventory, and I think the Ram CEO told me it was like 14% is the way the numbers worked out. And they're making the vehicles more profitable by having less inventory. You can people order more stuff, which comes at a higher rate. You have less incentives, and so yeah, they're going to start. They're drawing down inventory, and things are going to start looking better over at Stellantis coming soon. Like I said in the video about Ram going bankrupt, it's transitionary period, guys. Transition. They had the wrong vehicles on the lots. They had the wrong builds. They had the wrong. They didn't see the consumer demand changing in 2023 and 2024. And I'll get to more details about that when I talk tomorrow to you on the camera about the Ram CEO conversation. All right, let's talk about SEMA. If you don't know what SEMA is, a Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association show. It's a private show. I'm using private in quotations because I've been there many years, and it is a zoo. And I'm really kind of happy I'm not there this year because I don't know if my old body can take this stuff anymore. It's tough. And so we have a few things. We have a Land Cruiser concept, and these are the things that they do is they build these concept vehicles of what a vehicle could be, and they tease you with this stuff, and they never come to the marketplace. And they always have these concepts every year. So this is Toyota has a Land Cruiser Rocks concept, which looks pretty badass. Open air on the top of the Land Cruiser. Now that's the way the Land Cruiser should have been, in my opinion, more fun, more interesting. Yeah, I would. That's a really cool looking vehicle. Then Toyota also unveiled a surf concept with the Land Cruiser, and you'll hear something very similar with the the 4Runner versus Land Cruiser. They took the top off. So again, you drop the top, and then you can put surfboards in there and things. It's really a cool concept. It's TRD Surf, and you can find more details on the bigger just Toyota only channels. Will be there and covering it. I know TRD John's over there. I know Toyota Jeff's over there. I'm sure other outlets are there. I'm not there this year for SEMA. And so it's a two-row cut off the top kind of vehicle. I think somebody should fab this. I think you should be able to buy a 4Runner, take it someplace, and have them fab this because this would be a lot of fun, especially in some markets like California and places where you put a soft cover on the top on it, so if it rains, whatever, you can cover it up. But pull the top off, driving around, you can turn some heads with that one. Not to be outdone, Ford has its own SEMA collection. In this case, they're doing custom garage packages. It's a new package you can get done to customize your vehicle. So it's available for both on-road and off-road vehicles. It starts with two complete packages for Bronco. They're rolling this out. Matte black and sinister bronze will be showcased at the show. And the idea here is you can take this Ford custom package at local Ford dealerships. They start with matte black or sinister browns, and then you can add more things to modify it. Like the packages for the Bronco include the off-road 2-inch leveling suspension kit, performance parts calibration tool, 5 17 by 8.5-inch custom wheels and black lug nuts, special grill letter caps, badges, and smoked forward oval, extended fender flares, and updated spare tire carrier for additional $5,200, excluding the 35-inch Goodyear Wrangler tires sold separately and dealer labor. So just another way to customize your vehicle further and have it done at dealership. That includes warranty. That's a big deal. They want to have the warranty included in that. So that's what they're doing. And then Stellantis over there with Ram is doing a Moparized Ram 1500 RHO walk around. They have basically a bunch of Mopar parts and a Ram RHO. Then they have a Power Wagon concept with a bunch of different additions to it on that concept. So, and then they have a kind of a cool looking electro mod Plymouth car. People are doing these retro mods, but they're doing EVs with these. So yeah, interesting news there. Another news item is what Chevrolet is calling the Sidewinder feature that's being added to the Silverado EV RST. And the idea is you can turn all four wheels at once diagonally, and you can move yourself into the parking spot, very similar to Crab Walk with the GMC team, but they're calling this Sidewinder because got to be different, got to be cool. Okay, so other news happening on the YouTube channel. We had the Ram RHO first drive video went out, and really glad I ordered it. I'm still pretty excited about it. And then Jill did a Ford Ranger Raptor in the city. Is it too big for that? The one I want to get to is the exhaust note. It's really interesting. I'm glad I was able to do this. We had a lot of people say that I was being part of conspiracy because they knew the exhaust note was so bad they didn't want to put it out there. And so I interviewed the chief engineer behind the one of the engineers behind the exhaust note stuff, and he went through. We went through airflow back to the exhaust. The only thing I'm kicking myself is there was that bumper is actually a metal bumper, and I have a magnet on my microphone, and I could have attached that to the bumper. So I kicked myself for that. But what I want to get to here is I'm just going to pause the video, but I want to get down to the comments because this is very interesting. Same thing happened to me, in my view, when the Ford Raptor came out in the V6 instead of the V8. And then the first couple of years, people were complaining about the exhaust note. Then they did what's a trombone kind of style underneath the exhaust to make it sound even better, because that's a huge issue for a lot of people. And it's really interesting the number of people losing their minds in the comments. 1320, the sound of Stellantis killing the Ram brand. Sounds like a Honda after Pep Boys visit. Sounds like a farting in a trash can. Exhaust note, sound 1320. Yeah, I did a video and people are like, oh, I just want to hear the exhaust note. That's it. Okay, guys, fine. You're so free revving it farts like a BMW and can accelerate like an EcoBoost Raptor. Got it. Underrated. It looks great. The sound is questionable at best. R.I.P. Heme, they did you dirty. Thanks. It sounds like a lawnmower did in 1970s. My goodness, guys. It's again, it's the same thing happened with the Ford Raptor came out. I'm sure Stellantis can go back and put a trombone or something style in it. I'm sure maybe the aftermarket can do something different on the exhaust note. My point of view on it is it doesn't rumble the seat like the TRX did. That's really what it comes down to, because when you're driving it, you can't hear the exhaust note unless you have the windows down. And the TRX would rumble the seat. This doesn't rumble the seat, but this is quicker than the TRX. To me, it's smoother, it's more powerful, the delivery is better, and I don't worry about waking my neighbors up. I don't. It's a really interesting thing. I mean, I have a dual exhaust on my 62 C10 with a V8. If I want to hear the exhaust note, I go drive that thing. And this thing, when I buy it, I think the exhaust note is going to be way down my list because I want to do more off-roading with it. I want to do more things with it. It's got 35-inch tires. It should be a really good time, fun for jumping. I'm going to jump it myself, and so it is interesting. I've been, people are just, my goodness, and I've seen people take my video and like cut it up a little bit and do a little funny, well, I guess not really funny, kind of memes with it, and it's just, I don't know. People are losing their minds over that. So I just kind of interested to see those comments this week. So that's what I have for you this week. This week's truck news recap. For more, check out the videos on this channel. Also check out the full truck news recap to miss anything you missed, because you might have. Yeah, don't miss stuff. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.